Thank you so very much for being back. And if you just joined us, you're still on to Enterprise Friday, reaching you from Enterprise Television. Let's head to our main conversation for today. The Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, has ordered an investigation into a viral video showing a retired police officer rejecting a 2 million naira pension payout after 35 years of service. The officer, who retired on October 1, 2023, said the Nigeria Police Pension Board recently informed him that his total entitlement was 3 million naira. And 1 million naira was subtracted in arrears and 2 million naira as full benefits. He expressed frustration, calling the amount unacceptable. In response, the IGP directed NPF Pensions Limited to urgently verify the claims, identifying any shortcomings, and take corrective actions. Force spokesperson ACP Olumuyiwa Adejobi said the police are committed to the welfare of both active and retired personnel. The IGP acknowledged the need for ongoing reforms and emphasized that feedback like this is essential to improve the system. Egbetokun reassured officers and their families of continued efforts to ensure fair and timely pension administration. As I have with me, Barrister Fred Nzako. Thank you so very much, Barrister, for hanging on.
Thank you.
All right. So, Barrister, that particular viral video really took Nigerians out of their sleeves. And this is just but one in many examples of Nigerians who have dedicated themselves, their lives, everything they have to the service of the country, only for the country to treat them dirty. How bad is this situation, Barrister?
I am happy that the policeman had the courage to tell the world what they have been going through and the kind of rot that is in the system, especially with respect to police pensions. It is extremely worrisome that a policeman will serve for 35 years and upon disengagement into retirement will be paid a paltry 2 million naira as retirement benefit. 2 million naira is less than is it up to $500?
No, it's about $1,300. $1,300.
Call it, it just has $1,300.
Yes.
So you can imagine that a policeman will serve, get to the rank of a superintendent of police after 35 years of service, and go home with $1,300, 2 million naira. Now, you need to contextualize this development in terms of the issues arising therefrom. One, in a comparative analysis of other retirement benefits given to government officials, when a governor, after serving for 8 years, goes home, you can imagine what he goes home with. Some state assemblies have been even cajoled into giving a kind of lifetime benefit to the past governors. Houses in the state capital in Abuja, and Abuja, fleet of cars, large amount of money, and taking care of even for their domestic help and the rest. When a Chief Justice of Nigeria goes home on retirement, he's going home with about 2.5 billion naira. 2.5 billion, in addition to many other largesse. Other government officials and appointees, when they're going home, they go home with tremendous amount of money and other perquisites of office. Now, a policeman who has stayed in the line of duty, risked his life, defended the territorial internal dynamic of the country. After 35 years, when the country has sucked the last energy in him, will now be paid a paltry 2 million naira. It is not only shameful, it is scandalous and unacceptable. I salute that policeman for crying out. So many other police officers are wallowing in such abject deprivation and frustration. I was consulted sometime by some police officers who, this thing was happening early this year. They are inspectors. They said they have been on that same rank for the past 15 to 16 years on the same rank. And the unfortunate thing is that some people who were their juniors came and were promoted ahead of them. They were the 2000 class of police entrants. Today they are still inspectors, and they wanted me to champion their cause. When I had prepared the arsenal for the battle, because I know it would have been a very big human rights battle. Yeah. One of them capitulated and was a black sheep in the group. And all of them decided not to continue the pursuit because they were afraid that they could be sanctioned or punished for fighting for their right. I say this advisedly. I only wish that the authorities, through your media, will hear what I'm saying, and I am ready to advance the cause of my speech, advance the cause of my argument in favor of these policemen. These are still serving policemen. Now, if they cannot be treated well while in service, you can now see that even in retirement, they are also not treated well. And the Nigerians will now begin to wonder, why are policemen very corrupt? You will now see that the policemen are corrupt because of the need to preserve themselves. The first law of nature is the law of self-preservation. And if you don't preserve yourself in a country that does not care for you, then you are undoing yourself and your family. Go and ask policemen that are falling on the line of duty, those who pay the supreme price, and see how badly their family they left behind are treated. They are given very little time, and the next thing they are thrown out of their accommodation. For those of them who are fortunate enough to have accommodation in the police barrack, now go to the police barracks themselves and wonder whether they are habited by human beings. And you ask yourself, and you ask this country, all the monies meant for security vote, all the monies budgeted for defense, all the monies budgeted for police service, where do they go to? If the policemen will be so shabbily treated and you expect that they will perform wonder, I think it is a wake-up call to all Nigerians. And I'm happy that the IG said they will investigate the matter. But I am not confident if that investigation will just end there. I'm not confident that the police will do anything, because even the raw part of the causes come from the hierarchy of the police authority. The leadership of the police need to know that as a police family, they must protect themselves. They must defend their right, not only that of the leaders, but that of the rank and file. I belong to a network of bar police and the bench. And sometimes when you go to police formation, you wait for Nigerian policemen, you wonder how these men operate in this type of inhuman, suppressing conditions that they operate. And that is why, even in our laws, the Police Act will say the policeman should not go on strike. But that is gagging them from protesting against the inhumanity that they face, both at work and out of work. And I think this is a time for us to engage in this discussion and see that we ensure that the life of the policeman matters. It is not only to give him gun, you also have to ensure that his mental integrity is not tarnished by the environment where he works, so that his utilization of the weapons you are giving him will not be adversely utilized. And that is why if you organize health awareness for policemen, you will see that quite a lot of them are going through terrible mental challenges that are not easily seen. But when you interact with them, you will pity them and know that they need help. Such help must not only come from them, from within, it can also come from without.
Very, very true, Barrister, because some of these things, it is also very important that we enumerate some of these things, because this is not the first time. Just like you did say, we encourage the courage of this man who has come out to say some of these things. And we have some statistics here, some data that we have. According to a publication, here are the monthly stipends that Nigerian police officers go home with. Entry level, a constable in Nigeria goes home between $50 to $65 in a month. That's what a constable goes home with. An inspector of the Nigerian police goes home every month with between $60 to $100 in a month. ASP and the DSP, that's assistant to the deputy superintendent, goes home with about $150 to $200 a month. And if the list goes on, and if you see some of these things, and you ask yourself, why won't an average Nigerian policeman, take little money largesse from motorists, from people, or go about hunting people they never sent them to go hunting? How bad is this situation, Barrister? Number one, do you think Egbetokun, who actually should not be in that particular office because he had overstayed his welcome above the year he is supposed to serve, do you think he is supposed to be there? If we have another person, is it possible that we might have a correction of all of this in the future?
In as much as we advocate for lack of tolerance towards corruption, in as much as we do not want to accommodate the fact that corruption in the force is very high, and we speak against it, we must also realize that there is an underlying circumstance that normally predisposes the policeman to corruption. And one of them is what you have highlighted: poor pay, poor remuneration, poor welfare, poor attention to their needs. When a policeman tells you that they fuel the car they use on patrol, you don't doubt it. It is correct. When a policeman tells you that he makes his uniform, that is only the badge that the service will give him, he has to provide his uniform, provide his footwear, and the rest of them. I had once asked a policeman that was putting on platoon slippers and standing on the express road. I slowed down and I asked him, "Officer, why are you dressed like this?" He said, "Oh God, that's the one I can afford. That's the one I can afford." That he doesn't have money to buy his footwear. He said the last one he had spoiled. And up to today, that none have been given to him. And that he didn't have money to buy footwear and he had to go to work. Senior policemen see him putting on platoon slippers and standing on duty, especially on the road, and they pass as if nothing happened. But that means the road starts from the head. And that is why when you see policemen misconduct themselves in a manner not expected by the society, it is important that the same society should ask questions and tackle the problem from the foundation. What are the foundational causes that have predisposed policemen to the kind of actions that they take, to the kind of corruption that they expose themselves, and the kind of bribery tendency that they have? And in order to tell you that it is not intentional, they will go and write at their various stations, for example, that bail is free. But I can tell you without any fear of contradiction that you can never, on any issue, get bail from any police formation free of charge. Never. It is 100% impossible. Not possible. If the big ones, the senior ones don't collect the money directly, they will send their juniors to collect the money that will come and give account to them. So why are we all living in denial? And at the end of the day, because there is lack of employment in the system, so many people who join police force join that as a last resort. Otherwise, police duty should be such that you join the system, you join the force out of passion for the order and good governance of your environment. And that's why we continue to agitate that we must have the state police, and if possible, at least, even if we don't have the local government police, but let us have state policing stock, so that all this money that the governor are taking by way of security vote will be spent reasonably, and Nigeria, life and properties of Nigeria will be better secure. The way things are going, you hardly will find fault with the policeman, even if you try to, because by the time you look deep into the causes of their action, you will tend to sympathize with them and blame the system. And who make the system? All of us. If we want it to be sane and want a sane environment, we all have to put our hands on deck and pursue sanity. Otherwise, we'll be wallowing in abject corruption and profit, which is not synonymous with expectations of net.
Very true, Barrister. There's this growing call because we were talking about a restructuring during our newspaper's conversation. And one of the things you equally talked about was state policing, which is part of the restructuring thing. With so many state governors and governments not being able to even pay for minimum wage to their people, how much do you think it is possible for these sub-sovereign states to possibly pay the police force if there is state police allowed in Nigeria? Is it possible for us to maintain it?
Yes, I strongly argue and believe that federating units in the country will be able to maintain their state policing structure. Because even without having a formal state police structure, they have quasi-police, which can be called different names. Some call them neighborhood watch. Some say they are called vigilante. Some say they are called civilian joint task force, and all manner of names. These are people who ordinarily would have been drafted into a formal police structure. But because it is not yet feasible, because it is not yet allowed in our laws, the governors cannot call them the police. In the Southwest, they have Amoteku. Amoteku is police. Why do you call them Amoteku? They should have answered outrightly Southwest or regional police. And they will now be equipped and seen as police, interact with other policing organizations around the world, interact with them, get help where help is needed, and discharge their responsibility purely and strictly as policemen and women. But we keep living in denial. Instead of us to outrightly allow the Constitution, we will allow the policing to only be under the exclusive list of the federal government. The argument for and against state police obviously shows that state policing structure is most ideal for Nigeria, not only for the expansion of better policing towards enhancing the security of life and properties of the people. It will also have some fringe benefits of employment in one way or the other, and the encouragement of investment, because no investor will want to invest in an environment where there is insecurity. So when you now make your security formidable, you will enjoy other benefits that come with it. Investment, employment, and all whatnot. And at the end of the day, you will now see your economy growing. I do not see why any right-thinking person would want to argue against policing structure. And that is part of the major foundations of restructuring that we are talking about.
Very, very true, Barrister. And what we have going on today with the Nigerian police is not just peculiar to the police force. Even the Nigerian army is still the same thing. There used to be an ex-military man who calls himself X-Man. He actually had called out the Nigerian military for the little pay people receive who serve with the military. And right now he is under investigation with the Nigerian military. And let's not forget, just a couple of days back, we lost about 17 soldiers in Niger State as a result of bandit attacks. Ordinarily, Barrister, all of this domestic issue of security management should have been handled by the Nigerian police and not the Nigerian military. Why do you think this had continued? And is it ever possible for the Nigerian police to ever get it right like we have it in Kenya? The Kenyan police have been asked to go to Haiti to maintain peace in the country. Would we ever get to a position where the Nigerian police would be sent on a United Nations assignment to other countries to maintain peace, going by the little show of efficiency that we see today in Nigeria?
In terms of job description and operational modalities, while the military is saddled with the responsibility of protecting and defending the territorial integrity of Nigeria against external invasion, the police has the responsibility to maintain internal cohesion, peace, and security of the land. But in a country of over 220 million people, there's no way the police of a police force of less than 500,000 men and women will be able to discharge their duties creditably. Out of the 500,000, the number today is between 350 and 380,000 men.
Very true.
A police force of between at most 380,000.
Yes.
Out of that, you have a large number that are posted to guard VIPs. You have a large number that are posted to guard some other corporation. You have a large number that are doing some other jobs that are not purely police responsibility. And we keep asking, we have two options. Let us increase the number and let us devolve police power down to the federating units. But government at the federal level will continue to argue that by doing so, by increasing the number, they may not be able to have enough money to pay and take care of the police demands. Now the argument will be, it's a matter of placement of priorities. If you prioritize safety and security over and above other ostentatious lifestyle of people of bureaucracy, then you will be able to do that. If you now feel that you don't have the capacity, let us devolve the power and also devolve the responsibility. And by so doing, the states will take large chunk of the responsibility and be able to fund the state police. Then there will be synergy between the state and the federal police. That is the practice in most advanced countries of the world. Our own will not be different. And when we truly face restructuring the way Amana is to be, then the federating unit will now be able to generate more income value than they are presently making. The current internally generated revenue by government is so poor in most states that it makes no sense of the cost for the states to be on their own. And that is why those are the movement for Nigerian restructuring argue that we don't need to run the current 36 state structure that we have. We advocate and advise on the 6 zonal administrative structures to be recognized by our laws by way of restructuring the political polity of Nigeria.
Very, very true, Barrister. And just before we conclude for today, it's very important that we state some of the facts that we have going by the statistics and the data we have. As of 2025, the Nigerian police force, NPF, has been allocated a total budget of 1.252 trillion naira. And additionally, the Nigerian Police Trust Fund received an approved budget of 124.2 billion naira for 2025, focusing on similar areas to bolster operational capacity of the Nigerian police force. The big catch question is, where do all of these funds go to, given the not so good efficient operation of the Nigerian police? That's the big question that I think Nigerians need answers to. Thank you so very much, Barrister. We truly do appreciate your time.
Many thanks, many thanks.
All right, just to let you know that Barrister Fred Nzaku is a development economist, and he joined us today on our show. That's just about the time we have. Please do well to follow us. You can always reach us at enterprisetvnews.com. You may equally like, comment, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV7. I am Henry Igwebike. Thank you for watching. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.